गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन भज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन भज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरा वनचारि यमुनातीरा वनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। तंत्रा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So today we will be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 4, number 26. I'll share the screen with you and then you can recite the verse. Share. Okay. एवं प्रवत्तस्य सदा भूतानां श्रेयसी द्विजा
भूतायान् श्रेयसी द्विजा
सर्वात्मकेनापि यदा
सर्वात्मकेनापि यदा
नातुस्तयदृढयं तथा
नातु स्यादृढयं तथा
एवं प्रवत्तस्य सदा
एवं प्रवर्तस्य सदा
भूतानां श्रेयसी द्विजा
भूतानां श्रेयसी द्विजा
सर्वात्मकेनापि यदा
सर्वात्मकेनापि यदा
न तुष्यदृढयं तथा
नातु स्यादृढयं तथा
एवं प्रवत्तस्य सदा
एवं प्रवर्तस्य सदा
भूतानां श्रेयसी द्विजा
भूतानां श्रेयसी द्विजा
सर्वात्मकेनापि यदा
सर्वात्मकेनापि यदा
नातुष्ट्यदृढयं तथा
नातु स्यादृढयं तथा।
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Anybody wants to recite quickly? Maybe one person?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी। एवं प्रवर्तस्य सदा भूतानां श्रेयसी द्विजा सर्वात्मकेनापि यदा नातु स्यादृढयं तथा। हरे कृष्ण।
Nice, very nice. Anybody else? Quickly, one more. Okay, alright. Translation. O twice born Brahmanas, still his mind was not satisfied, although he engaged himself in working for the total welfare of the people. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Vyasadeva was not satisfied with himself, although he had prepared literatures of Vedic value for all around welfare of the general mass of people. It was expected that he would be satisfied by such activities, but ultimately he was not satisfied. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Chena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Datati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanmitam Tam Sadivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanutamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं। हरि ओम तत्सत्। Hare Krishna. So thank you all for joining. So here we are reading the dilemma of Srila Vyasadeva. Okay, there are many important points in this section of Srimad Bhagavatam. I'll just highlight a few and you'll see how the spirituality works or how the message of Srimad Bhagavatam works. This is something you can see yourself in Srimad Bhagavatam, because different people might give different opinion, but when you read from the source, then everything becomes very clear. Okay? So here it says this particular verse, O twice Brahmanas, still his mind was not satisfied, although he engaged himself in working for the total welfare of people. Evam pravattasya sada. Okay, he was always, pravattasya is engaged, sada is always. I'm going to highlight those areas. You can see on my screen. Evam pravattasya, he was always engaged, sada is always, bhutana, of all the living entities, shreyasi, for their welfare. Shreyas means welfare. Dvija. Dvija is, twice bonds, because Sutta Goswami is speaking to all the sages, so he's calling them Dvijas because they're all Brahmanas talking about Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarvatmakenapi yada na tushyad. Tushyad is to satisfy. This tushyad is satisfied. Everybody's looking at my screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So here he's saying tushyad is satisfied, na tushyad is not satisfied. Okay. Dhirdayam Hirdayam tatha, in his heart he was not satisfied. So one point we can clearly take out of this verse is that many people say, if you want to serve God, serve the people. Give them food, give them money, give them house, give them this. Serve the poor people. God isn't poor people. If you serve them, they get some relief, and that's how you serve God. Okay? Bhagavatam in this verse completely refutes that understanding, which is a very common understanding. It's a very popular understanding where people think, oh, you guys just chant Hare Krishna, what are you doing for society, right? Here, Vyasadeva, who is not an ordinary person, he is an incarnation of God, of Krishna. He came down to document all the Vedic literatures because Kali Yuga was coming. Because Kali Yuga is coming, people cannot remember, which we see in our life. We cannot even remember 2 verses or 3 verses or 4 verses. Forget the 18,000 verses of Bhagavatam and many more verses of other literatures. We cannot remember those. Nobody can. In fact, in this age, a flash drive for like $2 or $3 can remember way more than we can remember. This is the state of our mind. We cannot remember things. So Srila Vyasadeva came to write everything down for the ultimate benefit of people. Okay? So he wrote all the Vedas, Puranas, most of them. Then he wrote Itihasas. Mahabharata also he wrote. Mahabharata comes under Itihasa. It's a history, right? Still, after writing all of those, he was still not satisfied. He was doing all that for the welfare of people. He was not just feeding them food or giving them a place to live. He was actually giving them knowledge. But even knowledge, if it's devoid of the glories of Krishna, even that knowledge will not satisfy not just anybody, It will not even satisfy the incarnation of Godhead himself. Vyasdeva is an incarnation of God. If anybody can be satisfied in himself, it has to be Krishna. Why is Krishna's incarnation not satisfied? He knows everything. Why is he not satisfied? Just to establish this point that unless Krishna's glories are propagated or described or written down, any literature will not satisfy you. Here he is saying, Bhutanam Shreyasi Tvaja, the welfare of the living entities. Welfare of the living entities could mean many things, like I was saying earlier. But in this situation, Vyasdev is writing all these literatures for the welfare of living entities, and still he is not satisfied. And he's asking Narad Muni, I think you'll see in this chapter, he's asking Narad Muni that I've done everything I'm supposed to do. I've followed all the principles also. Somehow I'm still not satisfied. One morning, actually, this is again in this chapter. So he was doing his daily duty of writing these literatures. One morning, after he took his morning bath and he came up, sat down to do his whatever his morning procedure was. I don't know exactly what he did in the morning, but it was in the morning time. He took his bath and he's ready to do his daily literature work, his puja, his whatever sadhana he's doing. But he was thinking that I have done everything, but still somehow something is missing. I don't know what it is, but I have done everything I'm supposed to do. And that's when Narad Muni comes, and Narad Muni asks him that Vyasdeva, you don't look very happy. What is the difficulty? He said, I also don't know what is the difficulty. I've done everything, but somehow I'm not satisfied. So that's when Narad Muni tells him that the reason you are not satisfied because you have not described the glories of Krishna enough. There's a verse that is spoken there by Narad Muni. Tad vag visargo janatagha viplavo yasmin pratishlokam avavaddhabapi api namani yasho ankitani yat Shrunvanti, Gayanti, Grinanti, Sadhava. Narad Muni told him that if you write about Krishna, even though it has some faults, still it will be accepted by people who are virtuous in nature. That's what he told him. That particular verse Prabhupada has put in the introduction or in the preface. Somewhere in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam he has put it. Because even though Srila Prabhupada's English was very good, you can see it for yourself. It is actually very good, very easy to understand, but that's not his first language. So, in a humble state of mind, Prabhupada said that my presentation of Srimad Bhagavatam in English might have some faults. Still, the virtuous men will accept it because the message is important, not the language so much, even though that fault is not there. But great souls sometimes take a humble position and pretend or act like an ordinary person, but actually they are not. So here he told them, he's telling, see how it is. Narad Muni is telling Vyasdev that you should write about Krishna even though there are some grammar mistakes, it's okay. How can Vyasdeva have any grammar mistakes? He is the incarnation of God to write everything. If anybody who knows the language, it has to be Vyasdev, because that's the incarnation for that purpose. But Narad Muni told him, if there is any fault in your presentation, that is okay. but you must present something about Krishna. So this is the value of the message of Krishna compared to all the social activities or welfare activities. Now, we're not saying that social welfare activities are not required, not important, but the point is that they should be done alongside with Krishna Bhakti or Krishna Prachar or understanding of Krishna consciousness. In English, they have a saying, don't feed a man, tell him how to fish. Something like that, there's a saying. You should tell a person how to make a living instead of feeding him every day, right? Same thing is here. Once you give Krishna Bhakti to someone, they will naturally do proper welfare for all the people. For example, ISKCON temples for last 50 years. There are not many temples like that who give free food to everybody who comes to temple, not just little prasadam, a full meal. That's very common. Sunday you go, most temples you get little bit mishri or this or that, but in ISKCON you get a full meal. Is it not social welfare? There are ISKCON hospitals, some places which are helping people. So ISKCON definitely supports welfare activities, but the primary thing is that Krishna's message should be given. And we see that evidence in this verse where Vyasdev is not satisfied because he has not described about Krishna enough. Okay. Evam pravattasya sada. Sada means always. He is always engaged in bhutanam shreyasi duja. O duja, he was always engaged in the welfare of living entities. Still na tushayet. Still not satisfied. And later you will see that the reason was that because he was not describing about Krishna enough, and that gave birth to the writing of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, everything is clear so far? Yes? No?
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe?
Yes.
Okay, alright. So now I'll go through the remaining, and I think I'm supposed to do 3 verses today. So I'll do 2 more. Okay. Thus the sage, being dissatisfied at heart, at once began to reflect because he knew the essence of religion, and he said within himself. So this is I was telling you earlier, that he was sitting in the morning and thinking, what have I done wrong? What is it I'm missing? He knew the essence of religion. Okay. Here the word uses dharma with. With is to know. Dharma is religion or your occupational duty. So he is a dharma with. But na ati prasidat, not very satisfied. He's somewhat satisfied, but not completely, because he has done the good works. He has given all the Vedas, Mahabharata, everything is written, but he's still not completely satisfied. He's satisfied, but not completely. That's why he says na ati prasidat. He is prasidat, but not enough. Dridaya, in the Hridaya. Same thing we were reading in the last verse. In heart, he is not completely satisfied, even though he is a dharmavid. And he's thinking that what have I done wrong? Purport I'll read since it's a small one. The sage began to search out the cause of not being satisfied at heart. Perfection is never attained unless one is satisfied at heart. See, such an important statement. When we do Krishna Bhakti, this is really important that we should be satisfied at heart. We don't need a rubber stamp for anybody to tell us that we are a good devotee or a bad devotee or a okay devotee. That's not required. There's a quote by Prabhupada where he says, when you eat, you know your stomach is full, You know you're satisfied. You know after eating food you get some energy. Nobody needs to come and tell you that you had food and you are satisfied. It's something which you experience yourself. It's exact same thing here. Perfection is never attained unless one is satisfied at heart. So one thing we always have to look in our Krishna Bhakti is, am I satisfied with what I'm doing? Not that people come and tell me that you are a great devotee, you are this, you are that. No, that's not necessary. Am I feeling satisfied internally? If we are, then we are on the right track. Okay? This satisfaction of heart has to be searched out beyond matter. That's another thing, very important. Such a short purport and so much meaning there. So Prabhupada is saying the satisfaction of heart has to be searched out beyond matter. That means no matter what our material situation is, the satisfaction will never come from that. So if someone is thinking, if I get a better house, better car, better this, better that, and I will be satisfied, most likely, almost guaranteed, that will not happen. You might be more comfortable, sure. I mean, we need a place to live. We like to be comfortable, that's our nature, sure. But satisfaction of heart does not come from any material arrangement. And that's why you will see a lot of wealthy people, rich people, they don't seem completely satisfied. There's still something missing that you can see. They have money, but the satisfaction of heart is not there. Okay? So Prabhupada is saying satisfaction of heart has to be searched beyond matter. So this is actually the starting point of the spiritual life when you are looking for satisfaction which is beyond matter. I think this is something which people need to understand, where to find satisfaction. Okay, is it clear? Yes?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, I just want to make sure everybody's listening. Okay, all right. So we'll do two more verses and then we'll wrap up. I have, under strict disciplinary vows, unpretentiously, okay, no duplicity, unpretentiously, worship the Vedas. So he has done the Vedas, and the spiritual master, he has worshipped the gurus also, and the altar of sacrifice, he does daily sacrifice also. I have also abided by the rulings and have shown imports of disciplic succession through the explanation of Mahabharata, by which even women, Shudras, and other Dujas can see the path of religion. So he has done everything, still not satisfied. So let's go through one by one. He has taken all the discipline, okay? He has unpretentiously worshipped the Vedic literatures. He has accepted the order of the Guru. He has also done all the sacrifices. He has abided by all the rules, okay? And he has shown the value of disciplic succession through Mahabharata, by which everybody can see the path of religion. Women, Shudras, and others. In Kali Yuga, pretty much everybody is a Sudra. Kalau Sudra Sambhava. Okay? Others is Dvijabandhus, which is basically they're born in Brahmana families, but they don't have the Brahminical character, which we can say most of the Brahmana families this day are in that situation where they are Brahmana born, but they do not really know the Brahminical culture. A lot of them are in that situation. So he's saying, I've written all these for those people so they can see the path of religion, and still he's not satisfied. And these things will again and again come up, that unless Krishna consciousness is understood and propagated, a person will not be satisfied. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati also used to say, Pran ache jar se hetu prachar. If a person has got any life, then they will do something to push this message of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So with that, I'll take a pause here. If there are any questions or comments, we can discuss those. Is there anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
I have a question, Prabhuji. Like Vyasadeva written the scripture for Sudras, women, and the uh, but how like is Bible and other religions like come into existence because of that? Like even they are not even able to understand this religious scripture. Even our who are born in Hindus also, they are also not reading. So they are reading other scripts. I know in my office colleague, he's reading different scriptures. He's telling like we should not like we should read everything, every literature, and according to what our mind says, just follow that. So why the other literature is born? Because Krishna himself has given this literature for in the Kali Yuga. Yes, right. This is my question.
Okay, that's a very good question, Prabhu. So that answer can be looked upon it in many ways. So Krishna says in Gita, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. The way you approach me, I reciprocate accordingly. That's one thing. Other thing, in Kali Yuga, Bhagavatam says, Manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya upadrita. Earlier in this, Bhagavatam is saying, Prayena alpayusha sabya kalavasmin yuge jana. Manda. Manda means dull-headed. Who are dull-headed? Kalo asmin yuge jana. In Kali Yuga, the jana, the generally people, the mass, the people. What are they? Manda. They are dull-headed. Sumanda matayo. Their opinion or the way they are guided is also super dull. Sumanda means super dull. Mand bhagya. The bhagya, their luck is also mand. And upadruta, they are always disturbed. So this is the situation of people in Kali Yuga. There's one more thing here. Chaitanya Charitamrita. I'm just giving you all the points just to answer the question based on our scriptures. Okay?
Okay.
Chaitanya Charitamrita says, पृथ्वी ते जहा किछु धर्म नामे चले भागवत कहे ताहा परिपूर्ण छले. It's in Bengali, but if you understand Hindi, you can also understand this. Prithvi te jaha kichu, on Prithvi, on this planet, jaha kichu, whatever. Dharma name chale is going on in the name of Dharma. Bhagavad kahe, Bhagavad says, taha, that, paripurna, completely chale, cheating. So today, in the name of religion, whatever is going on this planet Earth, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, it's complete cheating. So people are being misled left and right by all these religions. Our Sanatan Dharma, the knowledge which comes through it, is called Apaurushaya. That means it has not been written by any human being. Vyasdeva is an incarnation of God. Krishna is God himself. So our knowledge when we get, it's coming directly from Krishna. So that's why it's called Apaurushaya. It's not from any human beings. Other literatures like Bible, Quran and those things, they've been written by people of this world with no reference to any authority before them. Here, Vyasdeva is saying, I have written everything under disciplic succession and I have followed the Vedic principle sacrifice. So that means there's something which he has followed which was laid out before him, right? So our knowledge, this Krishna Bhakti, this Krishna consciousness is very ancient. Others are not so. But because people in Kali Yuga, they are misguided, they end up reading all kinds of scriptures and they never reach a conclusion. In this short life, there's no way you can read all the Vedas, Puranas, Ityasas, Samhitas and all those. You cannot read. Forget other like Bible and Quran and this and that. So people are being misguided and somehow it's just very unfortunate. I can say here, kind of that, like people of other religions, somehow it's just, the information is just not there. So it's very unfortunate, but that's also a symptom of Kali Yuga. So that's why the best we can do is follow it ourselves and share with whoever is willing to take it. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji, very nice statement. I have two questions. It's not just for me. In case, let's say, we are glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam and discussing someone else, so that angle.
1 second, Prabhu, your voice is not clear. Can you please speak up a little bit? Just volume.
Sure, Prabhuji. Is it
Ah.
better now, Prabhu?
Yes, better.
Okay, Prabhuji, I have two questions, not just for me. Let's say if we are glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam, someone and this question comes, so how to answer them? One question is, like Vasudev being the incarnation of Supreme Lord, and he wrote many things. So it includes Vishnu Purana, Padma Purana, even Mahabharata, which also has the glories of Supreme Lord. But still, he was not satisfied, taking like from the core of the heart. This is one question. And then the second question is, being the incarnation of Lord, he knows everything. So, but still, he was waiting for Narad Muni being his spiritual master to guide him. So it is just to show to general mass like, the importance of parampara or anything else. So if you can put some lights on these two questions, that would be good.
Good. Very nice question, Prabhu. So for your second question, it is mainly to show the importance of the parampara and how you accept the Guru, even though you are God yourself. Still, you have to accept the guidance of the Guru. This is how important it is. Why does God has to be confused, like you are saying, to have wait for Narad Muni and come and tell him? Vyasadeva is God himself. Narad Muni is not God. He's waiting for Narad Muni to come and tell him. So that proves that he wants to establish the importance of parampara system. Okay, so that answers your second question, correct?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, and now your first question is that he has written everything and still not satisfied because those other things were not completely focused on describing Krishna. There were bits and pieces of different things, and there is definitely message of Krishna in Vedas, in Padma Purana, all those things are there. But Srimad Bhagavatam is called Amala Purana. Amala Purana. Amal means dirt, right? Amala means completely pure. What does that tell you? This is something which is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. That means other Puranas have something which is, or let's put it this way, Srimad Bhagavatam has something which is not in other Puranas, correct? That's why you will put that adjective to say this is an Amal Purana. Well, everything is, all of them 18 Puranas are Puranas. Why is only this called Amala Purana? Because here nothing of this material world is discussed. Right from the beginning, the message is very clear to the end. It's all and everything about Krishna and his incarnations and his devotees. Nothing else. So that's why this was needed. Until this was written, he was not satisfied. It's not to say others were not required, but this is like the summary of everything. That's why Bhagavatam is called the natural commentary on Vedanta. And Vedanta is the conclusion of the Vedas. So this is the final thing. Like Krishna says in Gita, after saying everything, in the end, he says, Manmana bhav mad bhakto, sarvadharman parityajya. At the 18th chapter, he said so many times similar things. But in the conclusion, he said those things. So similarly, Bhagavatam is the conclusion of all Vedic literatures. Does it make sense?
Yes, Prabhuji. Dear Prabhuji, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So it's 7:04. We'll conclude now and we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Gaur Pramanande. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you for a wonderful class, Nanda Kumar Prabhuji. So really, it was really we got very good information about so many questions and so many answers, and we really got very good enlightenment. And let's chant, devotees, please chant 3 times Hari Bol to Nanda Kumar Prabhuji. Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol, Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Srila
Thank
Prabhupada.
you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you all the devotees for joining this morning Srimad Bhagavatam session. So wish you wonderful Krishna conscious day ahead. So let's offer our humble prayers to Lord Narasimhadeva for the well-being of devotees ISKCON Somerset and all over the world. Ugram Viram Mahavishnum Jwalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namamyaham. Ugram Viram Mahavishnum Jwalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namamyaham. Ugram Viram Mahavishnum Jwalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namamyaham. Narasimha Bhagavan ki jai. Let's chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is the Yuga Dharma Kali Yuga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas who are assembled in this Srimad Bhagavatam class. Vancha kalpatarubhescha kripa sindhubhya hevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So Vaishnava Bhaktarunda ki jai. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you for all joining. So we'll continue from Monday. So same time. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.